Hello students. So here we are back again with the last two chapters that were remaining of footprints without feet. So the next chapter we are going to start here is the hack driver. So this entire story, the narrator of the story, he explains that after completing his graduating years, he started working with a famous law firm in his city, the place where he was living. He was working as an assistant clerk there, and he was not very happy with his job of serving the sermons, because sometimes he had to face the harsh situations while serving them. He could always go and he would not find the sermons he actually looked for. One day he got a task of serving the summon to Oliver Ludkins, and this person had to be found at a place called New Malines. So who was the key witness in some sort of case? He lived in a small town named New Malines. So this Oliver Ludkin belonged to a place that was known as New Malines. The narrator was very excited to visit the small and beautiful town, but his excitement ended by the dull appearance of the town. So he was not happy with what was the surroundings of that place, the New Malines. He was unhappy with it. So he saw the hack driver standing at the platform, who was very cheerful and nice. He went up to him and inquired about Oliver Ludkins, as he was new to the town and wanted to find him. So this hack driver, he was already waiting at the station for somebody to arrive. Maybe it was all a planned thing. So this Oliver Ludkins, he was standing, this hack driver was standing at the platform, and as soon as he saw the lawyer came up to him and asked that I want to look for Oliver Ludkins, and I don't know anything about this town, so please help me find him. So the driver told him that Oliver was a nasty man. So he owned debt of other people also. He was a very cunning and a clever person who never gave back or who never repaid the debt. He also cunningly extracted information from the lawyer that he needed Ludkins for some court case. So he was very clever and cunning. This hack driver was very clever actually. He spoke to the this lawyer in such a polite way and such a jolly way that he also got out the information that why the lawyer was searching for Oliver Ludkins. So a deal was cracked between both. He decided to hire Bill Hack. So this hack driver, he was known as Bill's Hack, and go on the search for Ludkins. Bill somehow traps the lawyer in the story, and they visit different places in search of Ludkins. So this hack driver, he takes the lawyer around the town and they visit different places in search of Ludkins. He always asks the lawyer, stay behind. He never asks lawyer to come in front, because if Oliver Ludkins sees the lawyer, he will disappear into thin air. So he asks the lawyer to stay behind Bill. They go to Fritz to catch Ludkins while playing poker, but tells them that he had gone to Gustav for a shave. So this was a barber shop, the Gustav, and Fritz was a pool playing area they had. At Gustav, they weren't able to meet him, and they were told that someone saw him at the pool room. Here also somebody said that he left the pool room after buying the cigarettes. Now Bill described Ludkins as a cunning man and guessed that he must have gone to Grace for a shave. So this Bill, he is taking this lawyer to each and every place he supposed that Ludkins would be there. So he is taking him all around the places and all the areas where Ludkins could be found. So in the afternoon, Bill offered him to buy lunch for his wife, and it would be less costly than a restaurant. So they stopped at a area where there is street food available, and he asked that I need to buy some lunch for my wife, or you also take the lunch. Then they had lunch at the Wades Hill, which was a very beautiful place. By that time, the clerk was totally impressed by Bill's nice and cheery nature. So here he was just expecting that Bill will help him find Ludkins at any cost. So he had even started comparing village people to city people. So here the mind of the lawyer, it was distracted for a while, and he started thinking that this place, this New Malayans, this village, this small place is very much beautiful, and it is very different from the place he lived or the life of a city. So he started comparing the two lives, the life of a village and a city. Later on, they went to search for Lutkins at his mother's house on the basis of information delivered from one of his friends. Now here he is just trying to make lawyer comfortable. This bill is trying to make lawyer comfortable. He is also taking him to Lutkin's house, where he could be the last option where he could be found. There the lady was horrible. The mother reacted horribly, and they hurriedly left the place as she was about to attack them with a hot iron rod. At last, the lawyer had to leave without serving the summons to Lutkins. Now here he was not able to find Lutkin. He searched for him everywhere, and then his summon had failed. Next day he was scolded badly by the chief and was again sent to New Malayans with a companion who knew Lutkins. Now this lawyer, he was a new guy. He did not know who Lutkins was. So he was sent with another person, another companion who knew actually the face of Lutkins, and he could recognize Lutkins at once. So upon reaching the station, the clerk happily pointed out at Bill was such a helpful person to him. Search Lutkins. So this lawyer, he was telling his companion that this person is Bill, and he helped me search Lutkins everywhere. He helped me a lot. At this time, the truth was revealed by his companion that the hack driver was none other than Lutkin himself. The clerk felt so bad and ashamed of how he had been fooled by a villager. So he was just feeling shame on himself, because he was trying to be a lawyer now. He was an assistant lawyer right now. He was practicing law, but now he wanted to be a lawyer. He wanted to practice law on his own. So he felt ashamed of himself that I could not, I could be befooled so easily, and I could not find even a single person. So how will I practice law on my own? So this was the story about Oliver Lutkins. Now let us see some important questions related to the chapter. What attitude did the lawyer have to the country life? How did his experience at New Malayans change it? So initially, as I told you, they were sitting at the Wades Hill and they were having lunch there. So this lawyer, he started to compare the two lives, the life of a village, this New Malayan, and the life of city, the busy life that people have in city. So here he was just trying to say that the country life, the life in a village is much better than the life in the city, because the people there are always in a rush there. They are running after things. They are running after actually materialistic things. So here he was a little bit, he was wanting to live a life in the village, but afterwards when this guy Oliver Lutkins, he betrayed him or he befooled him, so his perspective towards that changed. Who befriended the narrator when he went to New Malayans? Where did he take them? So here you have to mention that the hack driver Bill was the one who befriended the narrator, the lawyer, and he took them to the Gustav, the Greys, and to Fritz. So everything you have to mention in this question. Now the next is a value based question. In life, people who trust others easily are sometimes made to look foolish. One should not be too trusting. So this we can see in our life also. We can sometime we face such circumstances or we have these experience. So on the basis of that, or using your intellect, you have to explain how Oliver Lutkins made a fool of the young lawyer. Now the next question of this chapter says, the last question, attempt the character sketch of hack driver. So here you have to explain that how here he is explaining that he was cunning also, but he was very cheerful also. So he was Bill's nature was very nice. So Bill was also Oliver Lutkin. So you will mention each and every character that initially he was very helpful, he was of a jolly nature, but then he himself praised Lutkins, that he is the person, he is very nice, but the one problem that Lutkins has is he cannot repay the debts. So everything has to be mentioned here. After this chapter, children, we move to the last chapter, that is Bholi. Now, as we have already read the chapter, so you know very well about it. Now, Bholi is a simpleton girl. Her actual name is Sulekha, and what are the circumstances she faced under like when she is young at her home, then what phase she goes through when she goes to school, and all these things are explaining the life of a girl who actually is an ignored child, we can say, or a neglected child. The character of this story is a simple girl named Bholi, and this name was actually given to her because she was a simpleton. She was not of a cunning nature, and she did not know anything about the world, how what is greed, what is jealousy. So her name is Sulekha, and she is the fourth daughter of Nambardar Ramlal. She fell out of the cot and when she was 10 months old, and probably a part of her brain was damaged at that time. So pretty at the time of her birth, she was very beautiful at the time of her birth. Her body was disfigured at the age of 2 by an attack of smallpox. So these two things are to be kept in mind. When she was 10 months old, she fell off the cot and therefore her brain was damaged, and when she was 2, she had an attack of smallpox, and that's why she had all those disfigured body and pock marks on her face. Only her eyes were saved as the late speaker. She also wasn't able to speak for 2 years. So as a late speaker, she could not speak clearly, and so children also made fun of her. Bholi was the weakest child amongst the brothers and sister. Her brother and sister were healthy. Her sisters, who were never good looking, were married off, and her brother was sent to the city to study. So she was the only one at home who was remaining. When a primary school was opened in the village, Bholi's father, who was a revenue officer, wanted her to study there. He sent Bholi to school even though her mother protested it. Her mother never wanted to send Bholi to school because she always said that what this simpleton girl will do, because she don't understand anything, she could not do anything, so she was always criticized. Initially, she protested. Who protested? Bholi protested to go to school and tried to run away from her father's hand because she remembered how their pet cow Lakshmi was turned out of the house and sold in the market. So she was supposing that the same would happen to her. But then, dressed in the new clothes, she was properly made to dress up, oil her hair, comb the hair. She was sent to school. Then she thought there that she was being taken to a better place than home. Now this could be a question itself. Why did Bholi think that she was being taken to a better place than home? So here the answer would say that this was the very first time that she was given clean clothes, her hair were oiled and combed. So now she started to think that she was being taken to a better place. So happy to see other girls, she hoped that one of them could become her friend. She always wanted people around her to speak to her, but there was nobody because at home also she was neglected. So here she hoped that one of the girls could become my friend. The teacher asked Bholi her name, but Bholi was too scared to answer. So she stammered. She could not say her word in one go. The teacher smilingly encouraged her to speak. She also asked Bholi to come to school daily. She gave her a book with many colorful pictures in it, and she also told Bholi that she would be soon able to read and everyone would treat her and respect her. Treat her good and with respect. So Bholi was filled with hope. Here Bholi has uprisen the expectations from the teacher, because she was the only person till now, up till the age where she was Bholi now, she was the only one who encouraged Bholi to do something good. So as the village progressed, it developed. The primary school became the high school, and when Bholi was of a marriageable age, her father fixed her match with a person named Bishambarnath, because he was a well-to-do grocer and had big shop, house and large bank balance. nearly 50 years old. So this Bishambar was almost an equal age of Bholi's father. And he also walked with a limp. He had limp in his leg. Not only that, he was a widower and had grown up children. So this man, he was already married to some other women who had probably died in the earlier years, in the past years, and now he wanted to marry a young girl who had this man had grown up children, but yet he was willingly marrying Bholi. Bholi was not consulted before her marriage. Nobody spoke to her about this marriage. It was just fixed by the parents. The day her marriage came, Bishambar arrived with a big procession. He was pleased with the arrangement, but when Bholi's silken veil was removed, he was shocked to see her pock-marked face. He refused to garland her and said that the marriage would go through only if an additional 5,000 rupees were given to him. So here he again asked for the dowry. Till now he had not spoken even a single word about dowry. But here, as soon as he sees Bholi's face, he asks for 5,000 rupees as a dowry. Ramlal tried to negotiate the amount to 2,000 rupees, but all in vain. It was not even properly heard. Ramlal brought the money. When Bishambar was about to garland Bholi, she flung the garland into the fire. She very clearly told her father that she would not marry a man who was not only old and lame, but was also mean and a greedy person. She took a vow to never get married. She decided that she would become a teacher in the same school from where she had learned and gained the confidence and serve her parents in their old age. So this girl, Bholi, she had become confident here. She confident girl. She had gained all that confidence and encouragement because of her teacher, because she constantly supported her throughout everything, and there also the teacher was present at the time of marriage, and this was the motivation, or we can say the back support Bholi had, and because of that she was able to fight for her rights. Now what are the important questions? Why did Bholi's parent think her a dumb cow? So here we can explain everything we studied earlier in the chapter, that her part of brain was damaged when she was 10 months old. Then she had pockmark, so she was always neglected at home. She was not allowed to study. She was not allowed to go home, and they never spoke to her in a proper way. Also, while taking decision for a decision such as marriage, a big decision such as marriage, she was not even consulted. So God created this world, but teachers create human beings. How did Bholi's teacher succeed in changing the course of her life? So this is a very beautiful quotation, that God created this world, but actually the human beings. What are human beings now? The beings that have feelings in themselves. They are created by teachers, or a teacher or a person who inculcates all these values into students. So how can you say that Bholi's teacher was a major back support, or played a major role in changing Bholi's life? Why did Bholi think that she was being taken to a better place than home? This I already told you that this could be a question. Why did she think that she was going to a better place than her home? So here you will explain that initially she was scared that the parents are trying to sell her away like they did to Lakshmi. But then when she was dressed properly, she was given the new dress of her sister, her hairs were combed, oiled. So there she thought, yes, I am being taken to a better place than my home, because here I am being dressed beautifully and being taken care of. Now education is always a great asset in the life of a woman. How did Bholi, an educated girl, face the challenges posed by Bishambar's greed? So here, if she would not have been ever gone to school, she would have never known what her rights were. And now, as she was well aware what she wanted in life and what she deserved in life, she could stand for herself. So how much education is important in our life, that you will describe using your intellect. So children, here we end with the revision of the last two chapters. And now in the next video, we will be learning or we will be revising the writing and the reading section. So I'll see you kids there. Bye bye and have a good day.